I still, everybody's got to be able to prove themselves, no matter, even if your name has cachet and you've got articles in American Cinematographer, the entertainment business is very fickle, and it's all about what did you just do and who's hot right now, and so it's something I'm very conscious of. When I do projects, I publicize them, and I make sure that I pick things, even if I do some pet projects that maybe are just, for a strategic reason. You still have to be on the lookout for remaining on people's radar, for choosing projects that will cause you to have publicity and to deliberately not wait for the publicity machine to come to you, but to understand how it works and to take advantage of it.
How do you get your work? Do people call you, or do you network and just know where the work is and go get it?
Well, I tell you, it's very diverse. Starting out, you have to, it's all you. You don't have a name, you don't have a reputation. You got yourself, and you got, whatever card trick you can show. And so I went out and I would shoot whatever. It might be a B camera on a job, or I might do pickups for somebody, or I might just shoot student films. Always learning, always trying to improve. After a while of doing that, you build up just a base of people who know you because they've worked with you for so long. And so people begin referring you because word of mouth travels. At a certain point, you cross that threshold where your work is seen publicly. And, the fact that I did so many really high-end music videos, it's sort of counterintuitive that it would get people in features excited that I did a Mariah Carey or a Britney Spears or a Moby video. But they do, And whatever works, you take advantage of whatever works. It doesn't have to be logical, It's a business of flash and dazzling. And somebody once told me, because again, I'm a behind the camera guy. I'm not the performer who's being photographed, be it an actor or a musician. But I'm one of the guys behind the camera who's capturing this and creating a look and evoking a mood. And so I felt a little bit. It's funny, you keep having these epiphanies all through your career, and each one of them is sort of one of those duh moments because it's just so obvious in retrospect. But one of the things that somebody told me once, because it was one of those things that I was not particularly inclined to affect a certain appearance, in terms of, the way I dressed. I might have been up here with a Rolling Stones t-shirt or what have you. But it was brought to my attention that it's show business. And you're in the show, whether you like it or not, all the time.
That explains the hat.
Yeah. My nod to my Texas heritage. But you want to be memorable, And it's funny because I'm a really shy person by nature. When I was in school, I would fade back into the crowd of the artistic and bright kids, and was very, very timid. And but you realize that timidity and that and even not necessarily timidity, but just sort of. And it's interesting talking to people like Chris Sod, who I can identify with. Something that I think people who are from the South have is a mild-mannered quality, a politeness, a fact that, a genteel sort of quality. And it goes against your nature to insert yourself as bigger than life, to grab the spotlight. But you realize it's necessary, and you realize that it's expected, and you realize that, quite frankly, it's appreciated. It's all, but it is about timing too, because you don't always want to be just like, look at me, look at me, look at me. Right. So it's something you have to observe and learn, and again, you want people to know you, and you want to use that publicity. And when you have a big music video come out, or you have a big feature come out, I have a feature that I shot in Houston last year that's going to be premiering at South by Southwest. And barring a work obligation, I'm going to be there at that premiere, meeting and greeting people, being seen, and it's all part of it. It's all part of it. You can't ever, I'll tell you, I won an MTV VMA award, which is the little moon man, for cinematography on Moby. We are all made of stars. And I remember thinking, and this is well into my career, this is 15 years into my career, and I remember thinking, oh boy, the phone's going to ring tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, it did not. And the thing that astonished me, I talked to my agent and I said, yeah, are people asking about this? And, a week later, they'd forgotten.
That's right.
It was a bookend.
That's right.
Honestly, and even more, I think, publicly visible are things like the actors who win Oscars. Look at the list of names of actors who win Oscars, and how many do you know? You and I probably know more than the younger generation, but it's still, you see that a lot of these people peak out at that point. It was such a surreal experience winning that award. To this day, I don't feel like it happened. And part of it, I think, is because I do it for the passion. I do it for the right reasons. Even though I talked to you earlier about money, and I talked to you about how important being financially aware is. This is a business where you are subject to absolutely unfathomable whims and caprices with respect to the business environment, with respect to your collaborators, and you have to love it. When you show up to work, it's because you are happy to be there and you are delighted to be there. And then when somebody hands you a check, wow, that's a bonus. And I've never forgotten that. And that kind of, connects back to the people I told you about who I'd seen who were jaded. They'd be damned to be there if they weren't getting paid, and they weren't getting paid enough anyway. Right. And I committed that to memory, and I realized, I don't want to. If it's that much of a heartache and a travail to be in this business, I don't want to do it.